It's day 85 of 118 days with the Tudors, and today is 1569, and in this year we have the rising of the North, or the Northern Rebellion. Now, 1569 to 1571, these 3 years have a lot of intermingled events, and it's quite hard to separate them out chronologically. I am going to do my best, but it might be that you want to come back and watch the 3 videos kind of in tandem to get more of a sense, because actually it's quite difficult to really ascertain what exactly happened when. But I'm going to do my best, starting today with 1569 and the Northern Rising. So we've got 2 earls in the north. We've got the Earl of Northumberland, who is Thomas Percy, and we've got the Earl of Westmoreland, who is Charles Neville. Now, they're not feeling too happy, which is the way every rebellion started. It's not particularly about religion at this point, although they would like to get rid of Elizabeth and get Mary Queen of Scots on the throne of England. But it's not actually so much about religion, it's more about old ways being replaced by new. So it always used to be that the northern earls, or the nobility in the north, had a significant amount of power, but actually Elizabeth has started to replace people in the north with people from the south, so people aren't very happy about that. There's also the issue that the Earl of Norfolk has been thinking about marrying Mary Queen of Scots and busting her out of jail, and obviously restoring her to Scotland's throne and helping her have the English throne. So this is kind of an underlying plan that's going to continue over the next few days. But Elizabeth finds out that some people are thinking about this. He's not the only one. Some people actually support it. Cecil doesn't. The idea of at least him marrying her anyway. Elizabeth finds out about this, is obviously furious. So when she initially finds out about this, he gets summoned to court to kind of come and face up to what he's been up to. And he doesn't come for quite a long time. He basically hides. And as with a lot of things that happen over the next couple of years, it really reminds me of kind of little boys hiding from their mum because they know they're in trouble. So Elizabeth is like, get back here to court. And he just hides. Eventually he gets caught up with, and he's put in the tower for a little bit. It's not the end of this, but it's the end of it for this year. So eventually Elizabeth catches up with him, and he's put into timeout. So anyway, we've got these 2 earls looking for a bit of rebellion, and in the November of 1569 they take their men and they take over Durham. On the 14th of November, they've taken over Durham. They go to the cathedral there and they hear mass. So this is making a bit of a Catholic point here. So they are interested in restoring Catholicism, even though that's not really what this is all about. They're still making the point, and apparently they kind of stomped over the Book of Common Prayer while they were there to kind of really, have their little tantrum. And then on the 14th of December, they take Barnard Castle. So in a month, they haven't really done all that much. Their men have kind of taken one city, they've taken a castle. However, when they hear that the Crown's force, when Elizabeth's army is on their way, they basically scatter and go and hide in Scotland. So again, you've kind of got this feeling of like, Mum's coming! They all run and hide, which I just think is hilarious. Northumberland's cousin, Leonard Dacre, I think I'm saying that right, tries to start the rebellion up again in January of the next year, but they're completely defeated by the English crown, so it goes nowhere. The reasons these rebellions got nowhere, it was badly organised, for one. There was no real foreign support there, and the crown's force were just too strong. They were too easily defeated. But what this did do is it did teach Elizabeth and her council some lessons. It made them realise just how big the divide between North and South is. And if you're not from the UK, if you're watching this from another country, this might be news to you as well, but there is historically a real difference in the north and south of England, and it still exists today. I mean, we're not, going at war with each other today, but there is, even on a jokey side, there's a real discrepancy between North and South. Even, little things can cause big arguments, like whether you say bath or bath, or whether you should be calling your evening meal dinner or tea. So even today, you still kind of get this sense of a divide, even if it's just a jokey one sometimes. But that really pushed it home for Elizabeth, that there's a real divide going on there, and that she really has, upset people by sending people from the south up to kind of take charge. It also made people realise how ruthless Elizabeth's government were prepared to be. They beat this back straight away, but also she organised or called for 700 executions over this. How many actually were carried out, we don't know, but 700 were called for. Lands were confiscated, lands of people's families were confiscated. So they really did go in harshly. But it also demonstrates that there wasn't that much desire to actually replace Elizabeth. This wasn't necessarily because she was popular. It's also because there's so much uncertainty about who would actually replace her. Yes, it might have been Mary, Queen of Scots, but as we know from the smallpox episode, there's all sorts of different people who could be following her, and she's not going to say who's next in the succession. So that's 1569. Some people have tried to get rid of Elizabeth and replace with Mary. That has failed. We've got Norfolk in the Tower, who's interested in marrying Mary, Queen of Scots, and there is some support there for that idea. But what you can see is how it is dangerous for Elizabeth, for Mary, Queen of Scots, to even be alive. Even if she is having nothing to do with this, even if she's sitting in her it's not a prison cell, but sitting in her wherever she's being kept, minding her own business, doing some embroidery, people are still going to make plots around her while she's still alive. So I think we're starting to get that sense now of why it was dangerous for Mary, Queen of Scots to live. So that's 1569. I will see you tomorrow for 1570, when a not so very nice message arrives from the Pope. See you then.